I once thought I was the luckiest girl in the world because my lover was the alpha of the entire pack. But fate turned against me in the hands of the very person I trusted the most, plunging me into endless darkness. Chapter 20 Emerald. I awoke with a searing pain in my shoulder, feeling as though it was on fire. Groaning, I struggled to catch my breath, my chest heaving with each labored inhale. Why, he acted strange around her. I'm such a bad sister. Ray's muffled voice drifted across the room. Disoriented, I tried to make sense of my surroundings. The soft surface beneath me confirmed I was on a bed, but the overwhelming scent of rider permeated the air, causing a mix of comfort and unease. As I touched my shoulder, violent shudders racked my body. The realization hit me like a tidal wave. No. No. My breath became shaky as I sat, pressing my entire palm against my right shoulder. Tears began to flow freely as I bit my lip, trying to stifle the sobs threatening to escape. He marked us. KY's voice echoed in my mind, her tone a confusing blend of elation and anger. I cowed and stopped the flood of emotions, sniffling as I began to sob uncontrollably. Ryder's words reverberated through my consciousness. Dylan is no more. You are not Dylan's, for you are mine. The finality of it crushed me. He had taken Dylan away from me. First, Dylan was dead, and now he was gone entirely, severed from any connection to me. As I continued to weep, the door opened. Emerald, I'm so sorry, Ray cried, rushing to envelop me in a comforting embrace. Despite my pain, I knew it was her fault. Nothing is your fault, I stuttered, allowing her to hug me again. How can I not tell that my brother found his mate? It was obvious. Well, more obvious now, but still. Ray lamented. I wiped away my tears with trembling hands as she rubbed soothing circles on my back. He took away Dylan from me. I whispered, the words heavy with grief. Dylan? Ray questioned, and I nodded in confirmation. My first mate, I explained. Ray shifted uncomfortably on the bed before patting my back reassuringly. You know what I think we both need? She asked. I tilted my head slightly, absently tracing patterns on the bed sheet. What? Ray grabbed my hand, pulling me to my feet. Let's go for a run, she suggested. The idea instantly brought a smile to my face, and I shifted into my silver wolf form. At least now we get to explore the territory. Well, at least you. I know this place like the back of my hand. Ray communicated through our mind link as we raced through the forest. I barked in response, my ears perking up at the sound of a nearby stream. Following Ray's lead, I heard a splash ahead. She barked encouragingly as I approached the water's edge. Hesitating. Something wrong. Ray's concerned thoughts reached me as I heard her shifting from her wolf form in the water. I never learned how to swim. It's easy first shift human and then come in slowly. It's not that deep. I listened and shifting back to human and slowly made my way in. It's easy. First get a feel of the water and then keep kicking your legs to stay up. I actually learned to swim. It was great once I got the hang of it. Something happy that's happened in the last few weeks. We went back to the pack house and got dressed into clothes. Bait is trapped in cells. Chia whimpered in my mind. He heard us. KYA, he deserves to be there. Can we at least see him? He has to have a reason for marking us so early. Oh, maybe he really does. Low. Chia, if he had all cared for us, then he would have waited and not taken Dylan away from us. You still have the sash over your eyes. Fine, we will see him, but I'm done with this conversation. She cheered, making me groan, and I walked out of his room. What? He still had my stuff here. I made my way down the steps, and as soon as I reached the bottom step, someone pushed me down to the ground with a growl. I landed on my butt and groaned. Watch it, runt. The woman screamed. I sniffed the air and smelled it was the same woman from before. About a week maybe. I ran into her. Sorry about that, I whispered, getting up, and I felt her clutch at my collar of my shirt. You better be sorry. You need to watch where you're going. Oh wait. Oops. You're blind, I heard snickering. At least to other girls. Great. I can see you brought your little group. The snickering stopped and she let go of my collar. Yak and I go, I have somewhat of actual importance to see I spat at the last part. Who dirt? 'Cause that's your rank right now. The snickering and slight giggles sounded matching her high-pitched, scratchy voice perfectly. No need to talk about yourself like that, sweetie. I patted her shoulder, smiling, and then walked right past her. She scoffed and growled. Watch your back, bitch. Like I said before, we are all bitches here. Riders, I just stared at the wall. I had a racquetball with me. My source of fucking entertainment. Bung bung. Thumped thump bung. Bung thump thump wall. Floor. Hand wall. Flood hand. I heard a door open, making me tilt my head. It was a soft voice mixed with a rough one. Another door opened and she came out. Her head was down as she struggled to make her way over. Over here, my voice came out deep. She followed and then rested her hands against the bars. I only came because of KYA. She wouldn't leave me alone, Dane whimpered, and I put him to the side. So I'm guessing you want to see Dane then? You would rather not see me after I put you through hell. I already been to hell, Ryder, and it's worse than you as it haunts my dreams. I leaned back on the wall and she sighed. I'm letting you out. You deserve another chance and I'm stuck with you now. Best make it work. She motioned to her mark on her shoulder. I couldn't help but stare, but it's not like she could notice. What about my father? He's gonna be here for another week. If he catches us in your room together, he'll mask my scent and say I'm your pack whore, or whatever. She shrugged and I sighed. But she isn't that fine. What about that little deal with your father? She frowned at my response and cleared her throat. I only have one day. Tomorrow I have to make a decision. You already have a decision. You are not going. I'm sorry for your loss. Straightforward. You know he took Jace too. And I stand here thinking HES got it better with his dad. But then I think HES not. Because my mother is tied up. Alone somewhere. We will discuss this tomorrow then if she means so much to you. Right now I really just want to get out. She smirked a bit and then opened the cell door. It was open all this time, you know, Osiamon. Chapter 21 Emerald. Just hold me and keep close to me, he whispered into my ear. I gulped, nervously intertwining my hand with his. They had received a new note. We seemed to be walking to his office and then a door opened. New scents came into contact and then someone ran up to us. It's written in Braille again. I reached out as the woman handed me the note. I ran my hands across it. When night meets sun, where's to end, the time will come. To meet amends no later than 545, so try again, be wise in your decision like an old fisherman. Singed dem. SM. I traced my hand across the words and gulped. My mom, he sighed next to me, seeming frustrated. Listen to me. I want 7 warriors in the trees. Mask your sense. I will be there and your beta will stay here to keep Alpha Moon in check. Got it. I heard mumbled of agreements. The plan is to save her mother. And if we can kill all Rouges in sight. But I want the leader alive. People were agreeing with yes sirs and simply making grunting noises. Great. Get ready, we leave right before sunset. Alpha, are we even going? The lake that can see the sunset by the west border. That's where he wants us. Now go. People shuffled around and went by me. I bit my lip again and felt him wrap an arm across my shoulders as the door closed. I sensed him in front of me. My little gem. Everything will be fine. There is no need to be worried, Dane. I went to back, but he kept me in place. No gem, Dane, I breathed out. His hands went to my waist and tugged me closer. You are a gem. A hard outer layer. Hard to find. One of a kind. His hand found a loose strand of my hair and put it behind my ear. I took a shaky breath and my hand shot up as he was about to pull back. I grabbed his hand. Nah, she hesitated. I want Ryder, Dane. I need to help my mother. I don't need this right now. Why do you even want to help her? She knew you were getting abused by her boyfriend. Why? She's my mother as much as I want to rip her throat out. She brought me into this world. She is about 50 of me. I have to give her some credit. It's the first time that you ask for Ryder and not me. Why is that? He rested his chin on my shoulder. I need to help my mother now. Maybe you can come out later. Not now. Oh, so you do plan for a later? I gave back silence. And you're not gonna speak until HES back him silence. He sighed and cleared his throat. It's not my fault, he grumbled, and I sent a smile. "Let's just go and save her," I whispered, and he pulled away, taking my hand. "And out the door. You came. And you've made your decision?" He quizzed at me, and I kept my head down. Even if I could see, I wouldn't want to stare the man down. "My mother. Where is she?" I heard a snap and a muffled scream. My nose scrunched up. "Baby, no. Leave me. Am a horrible mother, Lee, take me. Leave her out of this." I heard my mother break out into sobs. I bit my lip and someone roughly grabbed my arms, putting them behind me. I heard a click of a gun. "Goodbye, Martha," she screamed, and then a gunshot. "No." I cried out as whoever was behind me. Grips tightened. This was not our deal. This was it. "You lied as well. I know your warriors are in the trees." As if on cue, I heard growling and rustling of the trees. I kicked back, hitting the person behind me, making them tumble back. They released my hands and I turned back, kicking them again. I then ran and someone grabbed my waist. I kicked against them until they covered my mouth. Hey, it's me. Go run back to the pack house. Go as fast as you can." I sighed in relief. My mother. He killed my mother." I went to squirm out of his grip and he held me. "Pack house now," he yelled back. I gulped back the pain in my throat, and he let me go, allowing me to run. Vampire deception. I Drake Mason and EY Dwight. As an undocumented changeling, I'm forced to pose as a low-level witch. I don't know where I'm going. Blindly, I put my hands out, searching where to go. Emerald duck. I ducked down and heard a swoosh. I then began to run, going God knows where. Someone grabbed me, making me scream. I felt something cold on my neck and the battlefield grew quiet. I struggled as the person held my hair, pulling it back, and held the cold object to my neck. "Look what the cat's dragged," and his voice was low as he whispered into my ear. I yelped, feeling his grip on my tightened. "Let her go or he'll rip you to shreds." I felt the sharp object being pulled closer to my neck as Jarl tugged me closer to him. "Awi. Is he your mate, daughter?" Is so protective. His breath went down to my neck, making me whimper. I heard hesitant footsteps go closer, and the blade was pressed firmly. Did he notice the mark? It was as if he was starting at it for eternity. Another step, Alpha, and your Luna is dead. Silence. The pack members went to go, mumbling as Ryder growled. "How dare you? You took the life of an innocent. Your love to what? To hurt a little girl. What a coward to pick on someone who is of lower age and, in fact, blind, to which you have an upper advantage. What did she ever do to you?" My eyebrows raised up and I gasped. December of 2002. My honeymoon when I met my mate. Chapter 22. Ryder, it was my fault. It was. Would you like to tell your mate, little Emmy? He pulled at her hair again, making her cry out and me take a step forward. Emerald. I stared at her as she whimpered. "Big bitch. Tell him how that mouth of your ruined my life." He threw her to the ground and kicked her, making her scrunch up. I growled loudly, making the warriors tense up. Jarl pointed the knife at me. Watch it. My eyebrows knotted together and I took a step back. He turned his attention back to her. "Tell him before I have a new head plaque on my wall." He tapped her hair, pulling her up to weakly stand up. I was 5. I had no idea. "You can't hold it against me." He kicked at her again, making her cry out. "Don't touch her." The sinister man smirked at me, standing over her. "Oh, poor Alpha. Let's play a game, little Emmy. With each lie or minute passed, if you're not talking, I add to your collection of scars." My eyes widened as he picked her up by her hair and held the knife against her arm. "Stop." His face then brightened as he added pressure to her arm and blood oozing out. I felt a sharp pain in my arm but ignored it, baring my teeth. "Emmy, what bad girl thing did you tell to your Alpha?" She bit my lip, and after a few he created a new cut on her arm. I hissed at another sharp pain at my arm. "Emerald, please. Just answer him." I'm scared, my eyes wide and more, hearing her voice in my head. "Don't be. What can I do?" She stopped for a few. "Don't listen," I frowned. "Emerald, maybe you didn't hear me. What did you tell Alpha?" "Shut your ears." I told the pack warriors, earing me nods from the 4 of them. The other 3 were down. It was an eerie silence. I watched as I just heard an eerie pain while Emerald's mouth had moved. She was crying. bawling out tears as she seemed to be stunned during out her story. He seemed to ask her another question and she responded immediately. I had to hear. I turned on my hearing and he was chuckling. Goof girl. You know what good girl get to go do. He paused for a bit and a grin grew even more. Swimming, I heard a howl and we all tensed up. Get him. I dodged as an arrow whistled by. It landed by my feet. It's a trap. A pack of rouges came out from the tree mid-shift. Emerald. She was struggling against Jar L's grip as he pulled her towards the dock. My claws came out and it turned out to be a full-out brawl. I dodged between two wolves, running at full speed toward the dock. Someone knocked me down. I bit into their neck, throwing them off. We were outnumbered. Big time. Carter. Get me more warriors were under attack by the dogs. Be there shortly, Alpha. I shut off the link and tried to make my way through to her. He brought her to the water's edge. Say goodbye, Alpha, he yelled out, and then tossed her weak body into the water now. I charged forward and then slashed my claws at him. He staggered back as I got a piece of him. He kicked at my legs, making me fall down. He went to kick at me again and I grabbed his leg, pulling him over, hitting the ground hard. I looked towards the water and saw it was moving. No bubbles. Shess still under. Why hasn't she swam up? Why hasn't she swam up? I got up running and then dived into the water. Her body was moving. She was laying at the bottom of the lake. I swam towards her, struggling to hold my breath. I grabbed her hand, bringing her up to me. I then smashed her lips to mine, giving her the oxygen I had in me. I let go and started to swim back up. I got up gasping for air as I had carried her. I need a medic. Some pack warrior rushed over with another. I gave them emerald and then another helped me up onto the dock. I coughed out a bit of water, feeling my insides burn. I looked around frantically. Where did that man go? The place was like a proper battlefield. Some of my pack were invited, but they'll live. He escaped, I groaned and rested against the ground, still trying to catch my breath. Alpha. I looked over at Ale and tilted my head. What? He looked white as a ghost. Shess gone. Emerald, he threw me into the water. Like useless scrap. I tried kicking and swimming up, but my lessons with Ray didn't seem to work. I screamed in the water. I kept sinking down, unable to get up. That's when it got cold. I felt the mask on my face slip off and my head hit a rock below me. I howled in breath. I had no more oxygen. I can't die. I don't want to die. My eyes shot open. Open. I looked around. Everything was dark. I heard a muffled splash and looked up at the sight. I can see. It was a man. His face was scarred and his clothes ripped as he struggled to make his way to me. Who was he? Was he the angel that will take me to heaven? He grabbed at my hand and then pulled me towards him, bringing his mouth to mine. My eyes were wide open as he kissed me and tiny sparks erupted through me, giving me a bit of oxygen. He then started to swim up with me and the colors around me tasted to get brighter and brighter. My vision was then blocked as I started to get unconscious. I blacked out, feeling the water away from my skin. Chapter 23. Ryder, what do you mean Shess gone? I got up, struggling a bit, and ran over to her limp body. I picked up her hand within my own and stared at her. I pressed my ear upon her chest. No heartbeat. No, I intertwined my fingers and began doing CPR. I pressed down 3 times. Come on, I put my mouth to hers and tried to revive her. Come on. I couldn't see her breathing by now. I was growing desperate. I pressed at her chest again. I brought my mouth back down and then pumped back at her chest. You're not dead. You're not dead. Ryder, it's over. I felt Carter's hand touch my shoulder and started to pull me back. I felt limp. Dame was speaking. 2 guards came and took her by the hands and feet, making her go out of my sight. I stared at the ground of where she left me. She left me. Shess gone. Dead. Normally the word wouldn't affect me. Dead. Killed. But now, bullets slowly taking my life away. Bit by bit. Alpha. Ryder, Carter spoke, being me out of my thoughts. Something that ran down my cheek. A liquid. Something that actually hadn't happened in 17 years. I was crying. Carter came into view and his eyes widened seeing my face. "Hey buddy, come on. Let it go, she was your Luna." I trailed off and he was up at this point. "Say something," he asked. As I kept staring at the ground, I got up. It was your Luna." I was choking on my words. Everyone grew silent. I looked to the right and saw the 2 guards still holding her body. I walked over as they both passed her to me and I held her, my head down in defeat. "Let's go." With that, everyone walked in silence back to the pack. They put her in a hospital bed. I couldn't process she was dead. I couldn't. How can I? The heart monitor was dead. A flatline. The pain bringing me to my thoughts. I heard the door open, but I didn't bother to look back. I felt someone's hand on my shoulder and tilted my head back. "Ryder, it's been a week. You need to let go, Ray. You know I can't." "I just can't." My voice came out low. I haven't slept, showered or eaten in days. My eyes had bags under them. She was my friend too, you know. You can't just sit here being all depressed of your life. I got up, sending the chair back, and held her arm in my hand, my claws threatening to come out. She was my mate. She died in my arms. She died because of me. I shouldn't have let her go. I shouldn't have been such a jerk, and I shouldn't have been such a jackass. I lost her. I broke down, shaking violently. My eyes were blinded by tears as I felt her wrap her arms around me. I pulled her by her shirt, shedding tears that haven't been shed in years. I heard her sniffling as she rubbed circles into my back. She laid her head on my chest and sniffled again. That day when she disappeared for an hour, you were outraged. You stopped Father from noticing she was your mate. I caught you in the hallway, dragging her, because you loved her. You marked her because you loved her. My breath went shaky, and then with her hand she lifted up my chin to meet her glossy eyes. No matter how much of a jerk you were, no matter how many times you've hurt her, no matter how many times you've been stupid, you did it out of love, but she didn't know that. She hated me, she knew. I know she knew, because those nights when she came into my room and cried because of you. Girls don't cry for just any boy. They cry for the boys that hurt them, that they care about. My eyes left her gaze and went behind her as someone had knocked on the door. She got up from my lap to away a tear from my cheek. She then made her way to the door and opened it. Low voices. They seemed to be talking in a whisper. She turned to me, the light pouring into the dark room. "Ryder, there's been a gathering in front of the pack house." I raised a brow, getting up. My eyes squinted from the light. I ran a hand over my face and through my hair. It was a guard. One that I saw a week ago at the dock. "Alpha, you need to see this." His eyes were wild. I knitted my eyebrows together. "I'm in the middle of something. Is this really important?" He nodded, and I took one glance back at Emerald. I grunted and then followed him. He led me to the balcony, Ray following close behind. I opened the door and then my eyes went wide. Thousands of lanterns were lifted up into the sky. The night sky was made of thousands of these flying fires. What is this for?" I felt my grip on the railing tightened, utterly confused at the sight. Today is Emerald's birthday. The guards had told her of a Luna, and I kinda told them it was her birthday today. My grip loose, and looking at my sister. What about Father? What will he think? I may or may not have told him that there was a meeting for all Alpha seniors tonight in another pack. I stared at her and then embraced her into a hug. Thank you, you're welcome, big bro," and with that she hugged back. "Happy birthday, my gem." Chapter 24. Emerald, when you die, you're supposed to see a white light. I saw dirt, a pale hand, grass, and pairs of feet. Then I saw him. The feeling of the fact that I could actually see the world amazed me, but when I actually saw him, my heart seemed to flutter. Well, scratch that. I'm dead. My heart didn't work. He was crying, standing over me as he flipped me over. He intertwined his fingers, pushing down on my stomach 3 times. He brought his mouth to mine and tried to make me breathe again. He did the same thing. I couldn't hear anything. That's the only thing. Another man came into view. He put a hand on Ryder's shoulder and said something. Ryder kept crying. 2 men came, picking me up and pulling me away. After what seemed like hours, Ryder was back into view. He took me from the arms of the men and his head fell limp, tears staining his face. We started to walk. A month later, Ryder, she was still there. Her body didn't even start to decay. Her funeral was set a day before my birthday, October 24. Today, I just cowled and seemed to let go. I walked out of her room, shutting the door quietly, and started to make my way to my room. I haven't been myself. I've been letting things go, not caring about anything that is happening. Ray is a bit worried about me, but who cares? The pack had been gloomy since the news that Emerald, their Luna, was dead. I felt someone next to me as they wrapped their arms around my red bear. I looked down to see the blonde wrapped around me, pursing her lips. She was the only one said qualified to be Luna. Since Emerald's passing, I found no love in her, but I have to support the pack's decision. What do you want, Quinn? She pouted, sticking out her bottom lip. Baby, is it hard for you to not question me when all I want is your company? Yes. You would normally want something. I gave her the cold glare as she crossed her arms on her chest. Fine. Be that way. She stomped her foot down, walking away angrily. Quinn, why? I stopped myself, sighing. No use. I heard footsteps and then 10 step as someone clasped their hand on my shoulder. You shouldn't get your Luna all riled up. I glanced to the side as I saw him. Father eyed on. Need your help in these manners. It was hell for a week when he came back. Oh well, too bad for you. Are you talking back to me, son? I don't know, Father, am I? Around us went quiet and the pack members went tense. Listen here, Pop. I could overpower you right now and take back the pack right now. Do you really want that? I looked around at the curious onlookers. I slumped my shoulders down in defeat. Good boy, he patted my head and I silently growled. He walked away and I steadily continued on to my path to my room. Emerald white. The color. So plain. So pure. A reflection. Retract slide off of it so you can see yourself. That's all I can see. A white wall. With a mirror. A girl staring back at me. Maybe I really am dead. The white walls being my bright light. Or maybe the light reflecting off the mirror being the bright light. I stared at the girl and she copied my movements. I stared for a bit. She had green eyes. Piercing green eyes. Her hair was down, reaching to the side of her hips. She wore a white dress. Roman style, it seemed. She was skinny. She wore sandals and an anklet. A woven band. Her arms had no more scars. They were gone. She looked at her eyelids to see them to be healed as well. No more scars. She lifted her dress down a bit and saw the mark. A wolf. Seemed to snarling. Ready for battle. Fierce. Cunning. Ferocious. Ben letters. No way to quote. His love roared louder than her demons, the girl whispered. She adjusted her dress back up and I sighed. I'm never gonna see him again. Granted, I never did see him, only after death, but I won't feel his touch. I won't sense him. I won't smell his scent. I gulped back the stinging in my throat. At the corner of my eye there was a person, watching me. Another woman. I took a step back, making her go in full view. Hello, Emerald, her voice was soft, angelic. Who are you? She came closer and smiled softly. My name is Angie, but I'm a moon goddess. Moon goddess, she took my hand in hers and her eyes seemed to glow. Yes, my child. I am the moon goddess T. Then why are you here? She smiled sadly. You are not supposed to die. Alpha Rider needs a mate and you are the only one that can be that. You are the rightful Luna of his pack. What are you saying? The lights around me started to get brighter and brighter. You need to go back with that darkness. Just like I've seen the world before. Chapter 25 Rider. I just stared. In a few minutes I would have to say things about a girl. A girl whose hair was a dirty blonde. Who had scars across her tiny body. A girl who had a mark on her shoulder made by me. She was being carried. I just laid her down on a stone where we held the funeral for my mother. The pack members had all gathered. Top ranks at the front. Lower ranks at the back. Everybody will be able to see her. It's just the lower ranks last. I stared. She wore a black dress. Her makeup was done nicely. Black eyeshadow, red plump lips, white face makeup to match her lifeless skin color. Her hair was down, laying across the pillow that was under her head. I backed away, hearing a glass cling and the murmurs of the pack members stop. "Okay, everyone, we are starting." Carter stood up from the table, glass and spoon in hand. He put them down and walked towards the center, near her body. I sat down in my seat next to Ray and Quinn. Quinn wrapped her arms around my neck, whispering words into my ear, purring a bit. I didn't bother to listen as my eyes were in a trance with the girl laying on the stone. A month ago, our Luna, emerald green, has died. Everyone was dead silent. I felt a sense of hurt in me and whimpered. She was drowned to the lack of swimming knowledge and the fact she was stuck in the plant life under. She was killed by the Rouge Alpha Nu Immerse. Everybody was whispering to each other. After a meeting with the other packs, they have all agreed that this means war. If one Rouge is seen on the territory on any pack, a war will be started. We are trying to find information about them, but that's beside the point. The morning of our Luna. We have a few speakers tonight. We are going by rank. So please welcome Alpha Rider. I got up slowly and everybody's heads were bowed. There is no crying, you are a man. You cry, you show weakness. I tried my best to stop crying my 7-year-old self. A tear slipped out and he brought back his hand, slapping me across the face. I stumbled a bit but stayed up. What the hell did I just say, Ryder? I am sorry. And stopped stuttering. It shows weakness, I nodded, staring at the cold dead body of what once was my joyous mother. Ryder. I was out of my trance again and looked over the pack. I looked back at Carter and he patted my back, going to sit down. I took a shaky breath into the microphone. I closed my eyes. Emerald. My gem. The shiniest rock in all them. One of a kind. I stared down at the paper I had written before about what I was going to say. The words seemed foreign to me now. Gibberish. I grabbed the paper, rolling it up into a ball and tossing it to the side. She was my everything. She was my life. She couldn't see. Did any of you know that? She was blind. But she allowed me to see what love was. How to have feelings for someone other than myself. Your old Alpha, my father, taught me love was trickery. A way to a man's heart other than a knife. But she showed me it was the exact opposite. A gift to cherish and to hold dear. I felt my breath go shaky again and a tear slide down. I couldn't hold on that long. I let go too early. I couldn't save her. She died in my arms. I stared at her and felt my eyes brim with tears. I didn't allow her to see I loved her. I didn't. And am foolish for that. I love her. I loved her touch. I loved how I could play with her hair. I loved the way she would overrule me and not back down from a fight. I loved her. In the audience, people were crying, weeping. Let the moon goddess be watching over you. I gulped away my sorrow, struggling to make it over back to the table. I slumped down in my chair. Quinn got up, sitting down on my lap, and rested her head on my chest. I growled a bit in warning, but she didn't move, only sighed in content and snuggled closer. I didn't pay attention to her. Pack members looked at me with curious glances and I looked down, away from their gaze. I looked back at my mate as Annie went up to the stage. Yes, she's of lower rank, but she's an acceptation. I blocked out her voice and saw something that caught my attention. A hand had twitched. My eyes widened and I stood up. Our Ryder. Dane. HES back. Vampire deception. By Drake Mason and EY Gwet. As an undocumented changeling, and forced to pose as a low-level witch. People turned their attention to the body and her face was scrunching up. I ran towards her as gas had sounded, making Quinn fall to the ground. Wait, why who? What's the big idea? I ran and held her now warm hand in mine. She rested herself against her elbows and sniffed. Ah, Ryder. My breath stopped. Emerald. She gripped her arms around my neck, bringing me closer, and she stared out into the crowd. Who are all these people? Where am I? Her memory is gone. Chapter 26, Emerald Darkness. Guess for my whole life I've been used to it. I don't remember much. Just a name. People were all around me. Gasped. People exclaiming in surprise. An uproar. I flinched back and then felt a soft hand on mine. "All Ryder." I wrapped my arms around his neck and his voice came out strained. "Emerald." I stiffened hearing so many people. They were talking about me. A girl came into my senses. She seemed to be standing in front of me. I tried to back away from her and then she embraced me. Automatically my claws came out slashing at her. Feeling them draw blood. She screamed and I heard a thump. Ray Ryder's voice cracked. My heart was thumping out of my chest. Are they going to kill me? I started to hyperventilate and arms grabbed me from behind. I screamed, my fangs coming out as I bit into them defensively. Another scream and uproar in the crowd. "Carter, get the pack out of here." Ryder was yelling orders and I tried my best to defend myself. More wolves tried to hold me down, while I blindly fought back. Something hard then hit the side of my head, draining me from my senses. "Ryder." Ray came from the table and embraced Emerald, holding her tightly. Then slow motion. Emerald's claws came out, slashing at my sister, sending her back to the ground with a thumb prey. Emerald's facial features turned scared as more pack warriors tried to restrain her best they could. "Carter, get the pack out of here," I ordered as people were screaming trying to get away. I turned back to face her to see someone had knocked her out. My eyes widened. "Come on." I pressed at her stomach again. I brought my mouth back down and then punked back at her stomach. "You're not dead. You're not dead." I shook my head, picking her up in my arms. "Alpha Ryder." I thought she was dead. I looked back at a male warrior. "We all did." "Get her to the pack hospital now," he nodded, taking her from my arms and running with another male towards the pack. I looked back at my sister, seeing her clutch her stomach. I crouched down. "You okay, kid?" She nodded, weakly wincing. "Dad's giving me worse." I looked at her stomach as I helped her up, seeing the wound start to close already. I sighed in relief, sending her a weak smile. "I'm going to address the pack." "Go to your mate." "Are you sure?" "How do you even explain why she's alive?" "I don't know. You have to ask her and mind link me." I nodded, sprinting towards the hospital. I slammed open the door, making Emerald jump up. I looked at the doctor as he was writing down on his clipboard. He glanced up at me with a grim look, then back at his clipboard. "Alpha Ryder, a word please." I glanced worryingly at Emerald and then nodded, slowly waking out. He came out, closing the door behind him, and sighed. "Have you figured out what's happening to her?" He rested a brow. "Yes and no. I got bad news and good news." "Good news first," he nodded, looking at the clipboard. "She's healthy. Most of her scars that she had before are gone and her body weight has improved than a few months ago. Bad news. Bad news is that she doesn't remember a thing. She may have ADHD, which will affect her attention span. Also, she has a severe case of amnesia. They got her real quick to let me figure all this out now, to keep her healthy and to try and help her brain out. I'm giving a prescription of 2 doses a day. After breakfast. After dinner. Now, if she seems to be blanking out, don't try to get her attention and let her do it herself. If you startle her, it could affect her for the worse." I simply nodded. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a bottle of pills. He handed them to me and I put him in my pocket. "Am I able to see her?" He motioned to the door and I sighed, going towards it. I opened the door to see her standing here. She stepped back a bit surprised. "Can we talk?" She nodded her head, shuffling back towards the bed and sitting on it. I closed the door as she spoke. "Why can't I see?" "It's dark." "Because your eyes are closed." That tear came out and she sniffled. "Why can't I open them?" I paused for a bit. "Because you're scarred." I took her hand in mine. How much do you remember?" "About me?" "About anything. Is there something I should know?" Her voice came out scared. "Yes, Why, you've missed a lot." She nodded and then seemed to be staring off into the distance. "Well, metaphorically." She didn't respond. I took hold of her shoulder and, like out of a trance, her head snapped back toward my direction. "Why can't I see?" It's dark. My face fell. You already asked me that question, I sighed. I did. Yay, she gulped. I am sorry. I looked down at her shaking hands and then put both of mine to them. Stop. It's okay. You're fine. Here she started to sob as I calmed her down a bit and the heart monitor was going crazy. I kept choosing her, pulling her into my chest. The doctor came in a bit worried and then the heart monitor seemed to not beat so loudly. Luna Emerald. Are you all right? She didn't respond. Yeah, she's fine. He gave me an uncertain look. I nodded at him and he shrugged, going back outside. I'm taking you out of here, all right? Maybe you can start to remember things if we walk around him. Oh, okay. I helped her up as she was still shaking a bit. I took the needles out, wrapping the spots in a bandage, and walking out with her. Chapter 27. Emerald, where was he leading me? I knew we were out of the hospital building. We were outside. I heard laughter and people talking. We kept walking and it grew silent. I felt my fingers start to twitch, tapping against my leg, whispering, mumbling. What were they talking about? Someone came close to my ear. It's okay, Emily. Just hold on to my arm. I held on to Ryder's arm, my hand still shaking. Steadily we kept walking. The grass was being stepped on in front of us and I froze as someone new spoke. Luna, it's good to see you back. A man. Is my name Luna? Ryder called me Em. I clutched onto Ryder more, feeling uneasy. What is it, Carter? Ryder. A Rouge is on the border asking for entrance to see her. A warrior told him that she was dead and he wanted to come to the funeral. What now? Ryder shifted and I felt him tense. What was his name? He called himself Jace. Ryder seemed to relax a bit. Maybe he knew Jace. Let him in. Feed him. Give him a water. Bathe him. Get him well. Yes, Alpha, the man called Carter. Walked away. Ryder tugged on me and we started walking forward. He led me to a room. It reeked of him. It must be his. He closed the door and I unlatched myself from his arms, walking. I found my way to a windowsill and I sat down quickly, pretending to be able to stare out even though I couldn't see. Listen. Someone is coming here, okay? Do not hurt him. He is, well, was your friend. HES here to see you're okay. I nodded softly, not turning my head back at him like I normally would. Out of the blue I felt his hand on my shoulder and I jumped a bit. He pulled back as if he touched fire. Sorry, I was shaking. I shivered up, putting my knees to my chest. He sighed as I felt his stare burn through me. Would it be better if I went? I tilted my head back and slowly nodded. He stepped away, towards what I remembered the door was, and stepped out, closing it softly. Silence. I let out a shaky breath, my hand gripping onto a piece of my hair. I stroked it, trying to calm myself down. But how can I? I still don't get it. I was out here, just with a name. His name. No one else's. HES, all I remember. The only one I can't rust. My hand started to twitch and my breath quickened. I hurt that girl. He knew that girl. Maybe she was someone to trust. The man he talked to. Carter. HES, probably someone to trust. He spoke of authority. I felt my body shiver and I blinked a few times out of my deep thought. 2 men were in the room. One knew. The other Ryder. I didn't notice myself to be turned the other way and the unfamiliar man standing in front of me. Hey, the voice was soft, yet seemed strained. I stayed silent, scooching back a bit now. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm your friend. It's me. Jace. He seemed to be sitting next to me at a distance. I stayed silent and felt him sit closer to me. I shifted uncomfortably. I know about you not remembering, but I'm your brother. Well, half-brother, but you get it. I'm trustworthy. He came closer and I felt uneasy. I started to take more. Quicker breathes. Hey, relax. Just trust me. I felt his hand on my thigh. I tensed and then something happened. I see, Calden explained it. There was a girl. She had brown hair. a slim structure, and she seemed to be in her teens. The scene changed and the girl was a bit older and she was holding a baby. The baby wasn't crying, wasn't making a sound, just staring at me, a small smile upon its face. Again the scene changed to fire. The woman was crying, clutching her toddler. Wood had collapsed upon her and the toddler got away. Now I saw the kid growing up. She stood in front of me. She was motioning something with her hands. Maybe it was sign language. My eyes blinked as I was caught out of whatever that was and was back to darkness, and Emmy Hay, the man, was still there. My so-called brother. There was a girl. She was holding a baby. A fire eye was rambling. What are you talking about? I felt his hand hovering over my leg again and I scooted away. Don't touch me. I screamed and he stopped. Emerald. What happened? It was Ryder by my side this time. The woman died in the fire. The girl grew up deaf. She was trying to tell me something. What signs was she using? I don't know. Try to remember for me, my gem. Just try. He was soft with his response. I grabbed my brother's hand. Going into that world. The girl. Brown hair. Skinny structure. Next scene she was a bit older holding a baby. The fire. The kid growing up. She was deaf. With my hands I translated towards the outside world, trying to copy her movements. I shook my head, getting out of it. You know sign language. It's used for signals if we were in a dangerous situation. Do it again. I did the signs again. Future. Future. I think you saw the future. My brother shifted a bit. Wait, how is that possible? The lady. The moon goddess. And Angie, I whispered. My hands found their way to my face. Did you say something? I shook my head at my brother. I'm blind, but I can see the future. Chapter 28. She predicted my life. But who was that woman that died in a fire? A baby. Who was that baby? Was that mine? I left the room for some space and sat on a fountain outside. I ran a hand through my hair. Slightly frustrated. I put my elbows on my knees and my face in my hands. God, my head hurts from all this. I took a deep breath and then stopped, my head perking up. There was a scent in the air, coconuts and jade. It was a wonderful combination. It smelled of heaven. My body automatically got up and followed the smell. It led me through the pack house, which earned me some looks and then led to the hospital. I kept going. I went inside and a nurse had stopped me. Sir, you cannot go down this wing. It is only unless you're visiting. Are you visiting, sir? Why, yeah, I was distracted, not paying attention to her. I needed to get to one of those rooms. Sir, can you give me a name? I stared at her. I don't know. That smell. Her eyes widen, almost in realization. He will let you go. Then I nodded and then ran past her. The scent led me to a room down the hall. Then I heard someone hiss in pain. I barged into the room to see a girl. Her back was turned to me and she held her stomach. Jordan, I told you in Phi. She turned and then her breath hitched. Mate, both of us said, as our eyes locked together. She was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She was skinny. She wore a ripped-up black dress that hugged at her glorious curves. Her heels were set to the side. Her hair was up in a messy bun. I stared at her hand as she covers her stomach and I walked up to her. Ben took her hand in mine. My name's Jace. What happened to you, my love? Dalton, I don't want to scare her. We just met. But Shess, our mate. She would never be scared. What about Emerald? Emerald simply misunderstood Ryder. Plus now she doesn't remember anything, so no hurt. One of our pack members had a funeral and she kinda came back to life and attacked me. But I'm fine. She looked up at me and her eyes seemed to sparkle a bit. My eyebrows rose up. Was her name Emerald? She bit her lip and nodded. How did you know? I smirked. This is a perfect opportunity. I got close relations with the Alpha. We've been friends for quite some time. Even though I'm Rouge. I actually got him and Emerald closer, you know, until she lost her memory. She smirked as well, showing her dimples. Oh, so you're just such a top-rank here and just as well respected. Even though you're a Rouge, I mentally cheered with Dalton and leaned up against the wall. She didn't notice my sly lie. Oh yes, of course. I'm like beta. I was actually supposed to be beta, you know. She purred a bit at my response and her hands found the collar of my shirt holding onto it. I felt my eyes widen at how close she was to me. Come closer, her lips went to my ear and I froze. My name is Ray. I'm Emerald's friend and I'm Ryder's sister. You can't fool me, mate, she pulled away and I gulped. Try not to tell lies. I can sniff them out. If this is gonna work, she motioned between us. I nodded, still shocked. My mate was an alpha. I blinked a few times. Oh, okay. So how do we tell Ryder? She shrugged. Once Emerald gets better, we will tell him. For now, we lay low, got it. Deal, she smiled a bit and her hand found her side again. Now come here and help me out. EMS got claws, oh right, I rushed over grabbing bandages. Emerald. I couldn't sleep. How can I? I've lost my memory. I've gained a new power. I can't see anything, for God's sakes. I stared up at the ceiling fan. Metaphorically, though. I imagined it in my mind. The sound was a soft buzz. My hands were resting on my stomach area. It was calm. Ryder shifted next to me, groaning, and then wrapped his arms around me, pulling me closer towards him. I laid my head on his bare chest and my legs laid across him. I felt protected. He was my protector. He explained what everything was. Luna, Alpha, Beta, Rune, Mate, everything. KYA was back supposedly. She was asleep now. My arms wrapped around his neck, making him groan as I snuggled in closer. Emerald. His tired voice was deep, soothing. I hummed back in response. He moved a bit. It's 4 in the morning. You should be getting some rest. You've had a rough day. I can't sleep, I mumbled back. His arms adjusted around me. All right. What makes you fall asleep? I shrugged at the thought. No idea, I frowned. It's just my thoughts keeping me awake. All right then. Care to share? I shook my head. No, you can't keep them from me, Emerald. It's not healthy, I shrugged again. I'm just thinking about everything. It's so much. I felt his hand caress my cheek and then his lips came into mine. Soft and sweet, gentle and not rushed. He pulled me closer, allowing our lips to dance upon one another's. We both then pulled away, catching our breeze. Thank you for everything, taking care of me and whatnot. It's my job. As your mate and as your alpha, it is my duty to protect the ones I love. I will never let you go. Ever. Chapter 29. I woke up to an empty bed. The bedside next to me felt cold and seemed to be made again. Where did he go? HES in a meeting. Discussing with other alphas about you living again. Thanks KY, ain't no problem, kid. I got up yawning and made my way towards the hallway. I walked down, tracing my hand across the wall to keep track of where I was going. Kya take me to where he is. She took over my body and I immediately caught a whiff of his scent. Kya followed it, turning and going through the hallways. She stopped me in front of a door and many people were talking. I opened it carefully and then silence. Emerald, what are you doing up so early? Men in the room started to murmur. I didn't pay attention and ran straight to Ryder, pulling him into my arms. He hesitantly put his arms around me and I hugged him tighter. What's wrong? He whispered. You weren't there this morning, I whispered back. He then got out of my grip and then his arms stayed by my hips. It's okay, I was here. I didn't wander far. Someone in the room cleared their throat. His grip on me tightened and he talked in an authoritative tone. This is my mate Emerald. You in a room with some of the most powerful alphas in the region. They are some of my allies. I nodded and then someone spoke up. Alpha Ryder. It's great that your mate is fine, but I think we should get back to business. Oh yes, he came close to my ear. Come sit down, a chair is next to me. He led me over to where he sat and then a comfy chair was placed on. I sat down and sighed in content. Now the border's been solidified with a concrete material and a silver middle. With some testing, silver levels affect rouges more than they do of pack members. It's basically sunlight to vamps with no magic protection on them. Vamps as in vampires, yai. They are real. And I know L. Shocked to me too. The men kept talking and it all sounded gibberish to me. Everything around me went slow and I yet metaphorically again stared off into the distance, lost in thought. It's like for a moment I was disconnected from the world. Just for a moment. Then reality smacked me in the face as my heart seemed to be thumping out of my chest and sweat ran from my forehead. Someone was shaking me out of my trance. And the meeting's over, I shook my head and the world stopped going through slow motion. Right, he picked up my hand in his and his face was close. Are you alright? Talk to me. We both stood up at this point, gazing at each other. Well, I can't gaze at him. Or like buried my head into his hard chest. I'm scared, Ryder. My thoughts haunt me. All of this is too surreal for me. He picked up at my chin and then wiped away tears from my closed eyes. It's alright, Tim. I'm glad you're scared. When you're scared, it means you have emotions. When you have emotions, it means you're human, and because you're human, you're alive. I stood. Mouth gaped. Speechless. He chuckled. It's alright, love. In your darkness, allow me to be your light. Your protector, Major Déjà Vu. I felt dizzy for a second and gripped onto Ryder's hand. I shook my head and then felt my throat sting. You okay, kid? I nodded. It felt like I just got Major Déjà Vu. I'm fine. He tensed up a bit. That's it, he whispered. He then stared too. At a fast pace walked towards the door. Ryder, what is it? I know how to get your memory back. Stay here. He then ran out of the room. I sighed in defeat and sat down. Alpha, Ryder, I don't think this is appropriate. A girl's voice shouted as he opened the door, pulling the girl inside. Annie, just tell her something you already have told her. Please. She cleared her throat and I sensed her come closer to stand in front of me. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to remember. Annie, try harder. Tell her something you know. Ryder, stop. You're being a monster. The room grew silent. I gulped down the bitterness in my throat and let out a breath. It's that feeling again. What is happening? Your memories are being triggered by things that... Ray Lily, where are you? I looked around the wooded area and then heard giggling from above. I quickly climbed up, grabbing her, making her squeal. I gotcha. I brought her down from the tree and then pouted. No fair. You better at game than me. I crouched down to her level and smiled. It's alright. One day, when I have a pup, a little girl boy just like you, then you can beat them at this game all you want. All I want. I giggled. All you want, when do they come? Well, it will take a few years because that's how long their flight is to Hero, okay? I'll wait then. I looked up, seeing two glowing eyes staring at me. It was him. Hey, I'll illy go back to he pack. I'll catch up later, okay? She nodded and ran towards the pack. I sighed and then a voice. I didn't know you wanted kids that quick, he purred. I felt his arms wrap around my waist and his chin rested on my shoulder. Who says I wanted them with you? I teased him and he growled in response. You're mine and only mine. Got it. I smirked. Okay, mister. Possessive, he turned me around and my hands landed on his chest while he tightly held me by my waist. His eyes flickered to my lips and I cleared my throat. My eyes are up here as I gazed up and he smiled. Of course they are. May I kiss you? I felt my heart race. I know we only known each other maybe a day or more, but... I pulled him by the collar, smashing my lips to his. Chapter 30. Emerald. It's been a month. A month since I came back from the dead. A month since I began a new life. Over this month, Ryder and I spent a lot of time together. My memories of him were almost fully back. We were getting normal again, but I feel as though my feelings have changed with him. We've kept it a secret, but he's been wanting to start a family. I didn't mind. Seeing a little him running around would be cute. Right now, I was with Annie. We were supposed to visit the children in the playground today. You know, Emerald, your scent has been a bit fragrant, hasn't it? She nudged me in my ribs and I chuckled softly at her. You could say that she went to retaliate, then turned to see kids fighting. Guys, be careful. Hey, Anthony, stop fighting with Joe. Susan put down your sister. Annie was running back and forth trying to get all the kids. I giggled hearing all the children laughing and their excited screams. After a few minutes she came back out of breath and sat next to me. Where's all the ongeza that assist with children? No idea. It drives me nuts. Maybe Alpha Rider has them doing something else. I nodded at her answer, and then I heard heavy footsteps. M. Rider has requested you to allow me to escort you back to the pack house. I nodded, getting up. Duty calls. I'll see you later, Annie. See ya. By Jace, I smiled, and then grabbed onto the arm of my brother. He started to lead me away from her. We started walking, and then I sniffed the air. Why was he leading me away from the pack? Jace, you're leading me away from the pack house. You're mistaken. We are going the right way. Maybe it is in my mind. Where the hell are we going? I was just about to ask you the same question. Mind Link Rider. HS and distance. After a minute he answered. AM, how is your time with the kids? It was great, but you sent Jace to escort me. There was a pause. Emerald, where are you? I eyed Aunt a few minutes from the pack area. Jace is leading me away. Emerald, run. I didn't send anyone to get you. But HS, my brother, why should I even rue? It's a trap. I stopped, backing up and away from his grip. Emerald, what's wrong? Where are you taking me, Jace? I'm sorry, he whispered and kissed the top of my forehead. What did you do? My voice quivered. I then heard the rustling of trees. New scent came out and I froze as I was surrounded. I thought I killed you, my daughter. Guess drowning isn't good enough for you. I gulped. Is this the guy Ryder told me about? The one who killed me? Jace. H, how could you? I heard my killer chuckle waking near Jace. He is my son. The boy listens to me at my comm, and he snapped his fingers out. Jace walked over to me, putting his hands on my shoulders from behind me. But the thing is, I'm not the one who wants you. Not this time, Emerald. Merrily upon this, I backed up into Jace's chest, and he held me in place. Then who? Why should I? All you're going to do is mind link you made. I heard a howl, and I felt my eyes sting as tears poured down my face. I hate you, Jace. You're a traitor. He moved one hand away, and then I sensed it close to my neck. Don't hate me. I was forced to. I'm sorry, he whispered, and I stayed silent. He sighed. Good night, my daughter. A sharp pain in my neck and my senses disappeared. Ryder, find him. Dead or alive, I'd on care. HES given your Luna to the enemy. The pack warriors had howled, running out, and the pack was in a panic. Men going out to search for her while the woman tried to calm down their young. I walked out of the pack house, and then Ray ran up to me. Ryder, what is happening? Jace had led Emerald to the enemy. He was a traitor all along. Her eyes widened and her breath hitched. There is no way. No, he cowled, and he was. She stepped back a bit and then gulped. What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm sad that Emerald was taken again. I'm gonna go with the search party, she said back quickly, and then shifted to her wolf. Off with a sprint. I tilted my head. She's been acting weird. I shook my head of the thought. It must be been 30 minutes. My eyes landed on him. Immediately Dane started to get riled up, wanting to get out. With a fast pace, I walked over to Jason, then took him the collar and punched him. He groaned and fell down to the floor. He stood on all fours and coughed out a liquid. I gritted my teeth, kicking him back down to the floor. You bastard. I knew you were a traitor once you stepped foot in this place. I kicked at his side, hearing the crunch. Probably his bones. It's not my fault. He wheezed. I kicked at his face again. I'm done with you, but I snapped my fingers, and then some of the warriors that held him before started to beat him. No, stop. I turned to see Ray running out of the forest in just a shirt and underwear. I pulled her away from trying to get them off of Jace. What the hell is the meaning of this, Ray? He traded my mate to the Rouges. I said don't hurt him. Her alpha came out and the warriors submitted. She ran over to him and she put his head on her lap. My eyes widened. Is this what you've been hiding from me? HES, your mate, isn't he? My voice got low, my facial features softening. She gulped and then ran her hand through his hair. His hand found hers, intertwined them. I'm sorry, brother. He is silent. Tears ran down her face, and Jace had picked up his bruised hand, wiping them away. I felt a surge of anger boil in me, and then I clenched my fists together. Lock him up. Dean, I said through clenched teeth. Dean Ine is the worst of the worst. Tears were brought up into Ray's eyes. No, Ryder, please. Please don't. He needs to be locked away for his crimes, Ryder, now. Don't, please. I love him. That's the point. You know what? Lock them both up and done. And after that, find my mate.